Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel was one of the world's greatest philosophers, and anyone who approaches his writings for the first time will inevitably be puzzled. Indeed, people who have studied his work for decades still labor to decipher the meaning of certain passages. At the same time, there is an amazing simplicity that underlies Hegel's thought. He saw the universe as a single being that is growing into maturity. Humans are the leading lights in this growth as we work together to build a more rational, morally balanced society. His vision is a tremendous and inspiring one for anyone who looks forward to world peace. Since the time of Hegel's death in 1831, there have been many readers and interpreters of his 20 volumes of writings. Renditions of his philosophy are assorted, and corresponding differences of opinion as to what his most important insights were. Differences of opinion about what is living and what is dead are notable in contemporary Hegel scholarship. This book is entitled Simply Hegel. It presents a traditional reading of Hegel as a supreme metaphysician who formulated one of the most impressive and comprehensive philosophical systems in the history of human thought. These days, it is no longer popular to compose grand philosophical systems, but it was standard practice to do so during the early 19th century when he lived. This book tries to respect the spirit in which this great philosopher formulated his thoughts, and does not follow contemporary fashion, which sometimes departs radically from the tradition in which Hegel wrote. The hope is to present in outline Hegel's views as they were originally intended to be understood, acknowledging that this is an unattainable ideal that can only be approximated, if only because we live with the perspective of a different century. This book presents simply Hegel in another sense as well. Rather than working through the complex details of his arguments in sequence, as would an advanced and lengthy study, simply Hegel sums up his main ideas, along with accompanying examples to illustrate his insights. The aim is to present Hegel's philosophy in a straightforward, easily understandable, and yet substantially useful and meaningful way, establishing a foundation for further study, if that is desired. As the book works through the contents of his philosophical development and writings, it emphasizes how Hegel's message can apply constructively to one's life and fundamental attitudes, and perhaps even change them. The conclusion offers a set of prescriptions from Hegel's philosophy that can apply constructively to our own lives. I owe a profound debt to the people with whom I studied and conversed about Hegel over the years. These include my teacher at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and now good friend, Ivan Soll, my instructors, Christoph Jamm and Helmut Schneider, many years ago when I was a student at the Hegel Archives in Bochum, Germany, my classmate from graduate school and fine Hegel scholar, Ken Westphal, whom I've known for decades, and Bob Solomon, an outstanding human being and philosopher in so many respects, who visited Auckland frequently when he was alive and taught so inspiringly as a visitor in my classes. My greatest debt is to my many students who attended my undergraduate class on Kant and Hegel at the University of Auckland, and to the University of Auckland itself. Without them, I would never have been inspired to understand and communicate Hegel's views as best I could. My first class in Hegel, it was a philosophy of history class, was at Michigan State University, taught by Richard Peterson, where we read Hegel's lectures on the history of philosophy. It was the most eye-opening book for me, since it described the course of world history from beginning to end as a single narrative. Never had I seen how human history could make sense. I was not in the position to be critical at the time, but this book had a constructive effect on my appreciation for philosophical systems of thought. Prior to that experience, I had been immersed in the study of Ludwig Wittgenstein's philosophy of language, under the guidance of Ronald Suter, one of my first and most authentic professors of philosophy and true Wittgensteinian in the best sense of the word. Upon attending graduate school at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, I was exposed to some highly accomplished and influential scholars who specialized in causal and information-based theories of knowledge, mind, and meaning,